Hey there, this is Chris of the Lorman Project, working on the Kai Schulan modeling project right now. And as you can tell from the camera setup, we're going to be doing something a little bit different this time. In that this session is going to be all about structure, which you're probably thinking, we've already covered that before. We already have a wireframe in our model. If we turn this around, we come down here, you can see we already have a structure. We already have it go in. You can see the 1/8 inch dowel going into the ground. We have the 12 gauge wire, which runs through most of the body and provides support, which doesn't want to go into the hole. There we go. Yeah, so when you're thinking structure, you're probably thinking that mostly these are the guys we're going to be using. Again, I like using steel stuff. I have steel and galvanized 12, 16 gauge. A lot of people are going to be using something more like armature wire, which is going to be more of an aluminum-based thing. But there is one unsung hero of this whole structuring world, and that's going to be our friends here, the twist ties, which you probably have like a whole bunch of these things sitting around at home. They're collecting dust. They're in a drawer somewhere. And let me tell you, if you need something extremely, extremely skinny yet strong for these guys, that's not much better you're going to get than this. It's just to give you an idea. Here's a 5-pound weight attached just a regular twist tie, and bam, it'll take that, no issue. So, which is super nice to have, considering most of my models I do are done out of pretty much exactly plus or minus a block of the Sculpey, which is a 1-pound piece. So I can lift up over 5 pounds with that to hold up what is at most going to be a 1-pound project, or 1-pound, yeah, model. So why do we need to know that for this session? Just to bring you back over here, let's get our regular setup kind of going now. If you remember way back at the beginning of this project, I had said there was one goal I wanted to get done, and that was that when they made the official model, the one thing they had never actually structured for the Kai Schulan one was that ammo belt on the side. She's the ammo roll over here, and on the other side there's an ammo box that hangs down, and they didn't want to deal with that structure. And I've taken it upon myself, I'm going to give it a shot. So what I have planned on doing is you can take one of these twist ties. Now I've already kind of pre-started just to get the beginnings away. I don't know how visible this is ever going to be on camera, but you can strip away the plastic. It normally doesn't come off this easily, so this is awesome, especially considering it's live on camera. Now with the plastic off, for most, still have a strip of something down here. This doesn't want to go. Give it 1 sec. I would like to actually get this off, because as much as it's nice to be for a tech demo for you watching this, I would actually like to use this piece too. Okay, so we strip that off, and now you have a filament-like wire we can use to do whatever we want. And what we want to do on this is, if you see the belt on the side, or the ammo portion on the side, there is a buckle, or like a loop of wire up top, which is attached to the pant leg, and there is one on the bottom, which is attached to the pant leg. And I would like to make the core of that out of the wire. Now I can do the other part separate. I would like to then, I'll finish detailing off the legs. I mean, we just kind of started getting on the leg stuff, and even that's just the outlines. And even this, so far, we're only sitting at like the outlines of this. We haven't done the patterning, haven't done a whole lot of stuff yet. So that's still a ways away. But when we get to the first hardening, I want to have those 2 loops on there, and then in a separate element, I can then make the ammo belt here and the box on the side as separate elements that, although they are 100% hooked in over here, what I will wind up likely doing on those is make a little hook on the side, and I can hook it on, take it off as need be. That will help for painting purposes, that will help with all that. So that is going to be the overall goal for this. So how do we go about making these things? Well, what I need to do is you just take a nifty pair of pliers right here. Is you can fold it around. We can take this, we can fold it around again, fold it around one more time. Don't put those down because we actually need this, because we now have a complete loop. So with that complete loop, we can now cut that off. And where the overlap on the two pieces are, this will never come out nice and good on camera. It will always look blurry. Hardest part's going to be not losing these things. But right where the overlap is, just take our little bit of glue, put a bee glue on top, bam. That is now together. It's good. It will do what we need it to do. And I'm going to put this away before I get myself in trouble, get stuff all over my hands, or otherwise have any kind of major problem. Because that will turn into a major problem. Okay, I also really don't want to lose the rest of the filament. We're going to be using that. So let's put that down there. And now once we have this loop, nice thing is with the, I'm dropping stuff, is if we need to kind of finish forming it, we can kind of squish it a little bit, kind of make things work out nice and neat. We can get the form. Ow. I just stabbed myself in the finger. That's awesome. It's like this doesn't want to do what I want it to do. We can kind of form it. We can get exactly what we want. From there, all we need to do is pop you on a piece of clay, fold it right over itself, and now we just need to, we gotta zoom way down here this time. And we can start cutting the excess clay away. Try to find out where this wire is in here is kind of the trick. You can see that's up top. I can see you're folding over there. So that gives us kind of a rough outline to that. And then it's just a matter of finding the inside. And carve away the inside of this guy, which in this case is not going really well because I'm kind of rushing this because I'm on camera. But let's try that one more time. If we get this right, we wind up there, kind of making a donut, always kind of taking away the excess stuff that we don't need, keep the stuff that we do need. And because I'm rushing this, it's not turning out well at all. But eventually, if you keep kind of working it, keep kind of a little more slowly cutting off the excess, getting what we want, you'll wind up with a donut-shaped piece, which, as you can tell, because I'm rushing through this, I haven't really cared because I already have, because I didn't think this was going to come out super well on camera in making this, because again, I'm standing so far, where I'm sitting so far away from here, I don't want to have my arms outstretched doing this. I would like to have this near my face. So what we do have is I have finished 4 of these little guys that we can now actually install. These have been, the wires in there, it's been glued, it's been covered, it's been hardened. These are done. And so then I can then use these as the base of the buckles on this. Each one took maybe 10 minutes to do, something give or take, to kind of get it nice. First one took a little longer to kind of figure out and then come in, so there's a little bit of a time commitment involved in doing this, but that just is what it is. And excuse me while I move my own image over a little bit, because I need something to go off of. OBS can only get me so far. I like that we have movable arms. That is awesome. Now I had two that were a little wider, two that were a little skinnier. So I needed the two kind of wider ones for this because my wire here wound up just a little wider, a little bit wider than I kind of wanted it to be. And let's see, this first one gets added to the top of that. So what I want to do is kind of carve a little, not with you, I want to just carve a little spot to kind of place it in here. So we carve out a little spot. I can put you in. And I do need it kind of flopped out a little bit like that. If it rests straight down, I'm not going to be able to hook the next part on, so I do need at least some degree of it flopping out to make this whole thing work. And now all we need to do is, yes, the hoop is structural, but it's not actually attached to the body. And being as this hasn't been hardened yet, I can't really glue it to there either. So how do we make this actually structural? We come back to the piece I just kind of threw away right from the start. And all I need to do is take a little bit of this. I can fold it over like such. Oh, my voice is cracking a little bit. Apologize for that. Could be because I went for a 45-mile bike ride earlier this morning, so maybe everything is catching up to me right now. Don't know. But, and all we're going to do, maybe you can see it on the light side better, is we're just making a staple. We're effectively just going to staple this thing in. Cut it off. And we now have this nice little nifty staple that I can use to attach this whole thing with. So we have that. A little wider would be good. Okay, so now when everything gets hardened, this isn't going to go anywhere. That said, it still doesn't, let me keep that down here so I don't lose it. Still doesn't look visually correct, but we can do stuff about that. Oh, that's, oh, I'm losing my voice today. Sorry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and put a real thin layer of clay on top of this, just to kind of get everything kind of covered, which is easier said than done. Okay, let's see, how can we do this? There we go. We got that. We can rotate you up just a little bit. Push that in there. And there we go. That covers that. That body is still supposed to be right there. You're in. We just need to reapply these lines that were in here before, which doesn't take much. And there we go. We now are going to have, once this all gets hardened, that's going to be a very structural element, which is fantastic. Now we also have a second one on the bottom here. So let's do the same thing times 2. So once again, we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space to stick that. I'm going to stick you right in there. kind of pinch this just a little bit. Find wherever I stuck my wire and do the same thing again. We have that, we bring it over, crimp it a little bit just to kind of shrink the size that actually sticks up, get you back to flat again. Flat is good on this. And come on, be good to me. We're on camera. The whole world is watching this. Okay, and we have a very ugly looking staple. But it doesn't have to be a pretty looking staple. It can be a very ugly looking staple. That is 100% fine. And once again, I'm just gonna shove that in. So now that's holding. And same as last time, we're just gonna add a little bit of clay on top, just to kind of hide the whole thing and give the impression that this streak is coming straight down, which it kind of is. Okay, we don't need much, just need a little bit. Okay, that went in there. Let's pick you up. We can see this looks really, really ugly on the bottom half of things, but not for long. I actually just need a little bit more. Okay, and then just takes a little bit of touch up. We have these lines that we have, just need to re-add those back in. And there we go. We now have the support necessary to hold that ammo stuff, to hold the ammo on the side. And that is all the important. The important part is also I have two more for the other side, and I don't want to lose those. So that just, they are what they are. I just stabbed myself in the finger with the original piece I had, and really that's as far as I need to go on this one. I think these shorter sessions are generally going to be more task oriented, where if I want to do, like, say, the hour-long stuff that I usually kind of like to do, you can kind of feel like you can do progress, you can kind of take time to figure things out. I think these, if I want to do these shorter ones, they're going to be generally kind of task oriented. So in this case, it was just showing how, to get that done. Also, if you noticed from last time, I had made this entire top kind of padding section higher. After the last video, I went and actually lowered this down to where it's supposed to be. So now this is actually where it's supposed to be, and we should be a little happier with that when we start doing further details on here in the next session. So next time, probably going to go, you can see the difference between the light tan and kind of the black stuff going on up here. So kind of more detail up top. We can do, there's stuff that comes down on in the front of the knee and the back of the knee. I might not do the knee guard itself yet because that's going to be easily broken, so I'm going to wait until right before hardening to do that. But we can finish off the rest of this leg, the rough part, and then really once those are done, I want to do the same on the other side before I get to the patterning. Because the patterning, again, if I hit this right now or accidentally touch this, nothing's going to happen to it. The second I put the padding or the pattern on these things, that starts going kaflooey. So I can do these rough blocking out forms, but I don't want to do the finished ones until I have more of the other side done, just for safety's sake. But yeah, that is where we are, and that is where we're going to end this session. So hopefully next time we'll get a little further towards making this look all good and correct. So until then, enjoy.